It's just the progression throughout the night.
Yeah.
As we were live on television talking about this as it happened, as things looked very, very good for the Trump campaign, particularly in the Midwest, Pennsylvania into the Midwest, Nevada as well, as we were waiting for vote to come in. 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 9:05 a.m., and you just watched it. And we talked about the progression over the last several hours, the progression in Wisconsin, the progression in Michigan, the progression that may be happening in Pennsylvania.
There's a reason for it. Explain.
Yes. So, look, the best way to do this, let me turn this off for a second, is I want to open the state of Ohio. We've done this a couple times, and I think this is just the best demonstration. Because for a lot of people who were paying attention early in the night, they were looking at Ohio, and they were looking at the turnout in Ohio, they were looking at the suburbs of Ohio, and they were saying, think back to 2016, Ohio. Donald Trump looked like he took it off the swing state map. I'm an Ohioan. I was stunned by the margin in the state of Ohio. And early in the night, as the early vote was counted and released by Ohio, it looked like this was going to turn blue. Maybe had a chance to turn blue, but at least narrow tremendously. This is what happened. Looks pretty familiar.
Same
right?
thing as last time.
Happened in North Carolina as well to some degree, saw it a little bit in Georgia, somewhat in Florida. Basically, it was what kind of vote you were counting when dictated what this was going to look like. So that was Ohio. We have seen the inverse over the course of the last several hours with these states, with Wisconsin, with Michigan. Right now, Pennsylvania is still red, but starting to shift as well. Why is that? They counted Election Day vote first, in-person vote first. That, throughout the course of the night, throughout the course of the country, east to west, skewed heavily Republican. And that was by design. President Trump worked on that in-person. They blew out their in-person goals almost across the country. What was left? Well, the opposite of what was happening in Ohio. What was left was early vote. How did early vote skew? Very heavily Democratic. Where did it come from? Largely urban population centers, largely suburbs. In other words, Democratic strongholds in these two states, and we're still watching as it happens in Pennsylvania. Just a couple of hours ago, Pennsylvania was about 630,000 votes. 630,000 votes. 550,000 is still a huge mountain to climb for Joe Biden.
But it's 80,000 less.
But it's 80,000 less, and that has happened in the course of an hour. And why is that happening? Because mail-in ballots are coming in, more than 1 million mail-in ballots outstanding, in large part from southeastern Pennsylvania, Democratic stronghold, Allegheny County, Democratic stronghold. So that's the progression. That's why it happened. That's why you had, sometimes it looked red and then all of a sudden it flipped blue, sometimes vice versa.